Welcome friends to today's poetry series. We shall be looking at poetry number 188. This is your friend Isokari Francis Olulu. The title of today's poetry is While Solitude Enriches My Humanity, Loneliness Reminds Me of life in its true color. Explained by the story. The rumors kept reaching Talata, wife of Fatah, the great musician. Her husband was probably keeping a secret lady somewhere in one of the estates of the city. Several people had seen him enter the house regularly and he stayed there all day. Talata was not really interested in all the talk. Her husband was a busy man who had many friends. Besides, he had lots of business concerns in the city and beyond. If anyone saw him anywhere, it was not strange. He normally left home after breakfast and returned very late in the night. Being someone who hardly spoke, but being a responsible husband as well, she had had no cause to question him about his movements. Yet observers would not let the matter rest. They persisted until Talata decided to find out surreptitiously. She hired a motor rider who was to ride after her husband at an inconspicuous distance throughout the day. He was given money to park the motor vehicle if need be and take a taxi if it became necessary. The job was done well. The report which reached Talata confirmed that when her husband left in the morning, he drove into this estate building and spent the whole day there. The gate man opened the gate, but nobody else was seen. He had driven there alone and came out alone in the evening. This surveillance was repeated 3 times that week and the report was the same. Talata felt a bit ruffled now. Her husband was not roaming on business rounds as she had presumed. What was he doing in that house every day, all day? Who was he meeting there? Who did he now prefer to spend so many hours with instead of her? She decided to dig deeper into the mystery. But how? Would direct confrontation do? She had never done so before. It was not part of their marital regimen to accuse each other or even question each other in a manner that would suggest they were being suspicious or losing trust. Yet, she had been advised that if she allowed this to keep on, one of those days, the obvious lady whom she was seeing now was sure to take over. Who knew? Perhaps her husband bought that building secretly for her. The thought raised her adrenaline. Could her husband act so callously behind her? What if she asked and this alerted him to cover his tracks? She decided that the best move would be to catch him in action. But how? Her advisors urged her to be bold. No one died twice. She should drive straight into the estate and find out. She decided, however, to find out from the estate managers who owned or occupied that building. She would pretend she was interested in renting or buying it in case it was for sale. What if it was not? What excuse was she to conjure up? One of her friends decided to help her by finding out. She went to the manager's office. The report was startling. The house was bought in the name of Talata. No one lived there apart from the gate man. The pundits interpreted this information as a clever ruse of Fatah to deceive the world. Being a popular man, he had feared drawing attention if he named the real lady he had bought the house for. How could he have genuinely bought a house for his wife but never told her? The name of Talata would soon be changed into that of the mistress behind this strange behavior. Talata decided to be bolder now. In the company of a friend, they drove straight into the estate and knocked on the gate. The gateman who opened the gate turned out to be Talata's uncle, who had been very close to the family. He expressed surprise on seeing her. "Your husband did not inform me about this visit," he said. "You are welcome anyway. Do you want to see him?" "Yes, if I'm not disturbing him and the madam," she responded, not knowing what to make of this. At this, her uncle smiled and asked, "Madam? Who is Madam?" The mystery was not long in being unraveled from this point. Talata entered and found her husband alone, just as her uncle had assured her. Nobody else was in the big 6-bedroom home. Fatah smiled when she entered. He had been seated behind a big desk, writing. His wife had meanwhile searched the whole building meticulously. He now explained it all. He cherished being alone so much that he had bought this house for his wife but never told her. Only her uncle knew. He came here to flee the maddened crowd, think and write his music. As he explained, being alone gave him much room for inspiration and enabled him to write good music. Thus, while solitude enriches my humanity, loneliness reminds me of life in its true color, he said, adding, and this informs the type of music I write about life. Talata sighed. So much ado about nothing. She apologized to her husband and left him alone, with the vow in her heart to never listen to the word concerning her husband again. The takeaway: the world must talk, but prefer your sanity. I believe you have taken the lessons. God bless you.